morning, ladies. It's Erin and
Rebecca
from In Between Friends, and we are talking about currently what to do before your baby arrives with your spouse, i.e., get it on.
Kinda yeah.
I mean, ultimately, we're going to talk about just, especially if this is your first child, what you should maybe be anticipating what to do with your husband prior to, I always call it the tidal wave.
Oh,
which is
I
just
kind of like.
Isn't that just
the hurricane?
The joyful way of saying your babies are coming is to call it a tidal wave, which is a natural disaster. My husband and I are getting ready to go on our anniversary trip. Our anniversary was just last week.
Love it.
So we always take a little trip, and so it's going to end up being the kind of baby moon, as they call it. I'm so looking forward to it. Actually, I was going to... not even for joking reasons, like just so I can get away. I'm really looking forward to it, just to be with my husband and have some quiet time with him and lay in bed and do other things in bed too. Yeah, babe.
Wink, oink.
Seriously, but just carve out some time with each other and get back to the roots of, you know, those people who kind of fell in love. Not to be totally cheesy, but...
That was so awesome.
I know.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
100%. Now, ladies, I know you think that this pregnancy is all about you.
It kind of is, though.
It's not.
I agree with you. Whatever with her.
It's not. Okay, so you happen to be like cooking the kid. I get it, but without him...
I know, I'm kidding.
Okay.
You don't
Just
need to
saying.
sell me on the idea. It's not all about me. Blah, 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 blah.
I'm trying to sell them. It's not just you. So here's the point. We did touch about this when we talked about identity, losing yourself to the bump. Was who are you? Who did your husband marry? And how do you remain that girl without sacrificing for the role of mom?
Mm-hmm. Which is a huge role.
Huge. It's like all encompassing, and you're going to feel, if you weigh your money and your time as the measurement of what is a priority in your life for the first 18 years, it will be your children. However, you know that your kids are not above the marriage. Now, if you find yourself putting your children above your marriage, then you really need to like take a step back and take some personal inventory with yourself. And just like, why am I ignoring the marriage for my kids? Because...
And I don't think anybody necessarily goes into it thinking, I'm going to place a higher precedence on the kids than on my husband. But we all know that we have the girlfriend who does it, and you watch it and you go, oh, good grief. I don't want that to be my family life.
Right. So the question is, how do you really prepare for that before you give birth? Because if it's your first, you're like, I'm not going to make that mistake. You will.
Yeah.
We love you. You will. And the bottom line is you have to communicate. You have to communicate and ask for accountability. Mm-hmm. With your spouse. Like, hey, babes, if I talk too much about the baby, I want you to be like, time out. How are you? What's going on with you? How's work going? This is what's going on with me. I'm really struggling with a friend, or I don't know how to make this work, or go back to the roots of the relationship. What did you enjoy together? Maybe you loved riding bikes. You love... Jeff loves the beach, surfing, all that component that go back to what brought you together.
Yeah, and you can include the kids into the folds of that.
Absolutely.
But it's still something that was the bond of your original relationship.
Absolutely.
I think that's totally key. That's what we're talking about essentially, is just making sure that you're still building that marriage and that it's not... in the background anymore. It
can so easily get neglected, especially when you're thinking as a mom and you're having twins. So the energy, the amount that you're going to be pouring into that child, just trying to figure out life, especially if it's your first, trying to figure out that balance. What are these emotions I'm feeling? The hormones are still going. You're going to give birth and you're still going to have hormones going through your system. It's just coming back to like, okay, what is the basic? Why did I come back to him? And that's keeping the romance alive. Mm-hmm. You know your husband's love language, I'm sure. If not, go buy the book, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. Mm-hmm. That love language is really, really important, knowing what makes him tick. If his love language is like words of encouragement. Make sure that you're constantly coming back to him and bolstering him up.
Yeah.
If it's gifts, do little things like throw a note in his car, write on the mirror, go pick up his favorite, I don't know, Starbucks drink.
How much do you hate us right now, by the way?
Yeah, I know.
You're thinking to yourself, so wait, I'm carrying his child. Most of you I know are still working and adding income to the family, cooking dinner, cleaning the house. But now I gotta make sure that I'm creating a foundation for my husband.
Do you want to be
this isn't
alone?
enough.
Do you want to do it by yourself? Because if you want to do it by yourself, don't do anything for your husband. Don't have date nights. Don't communicate. Don't go away on vacation. Make it all about your kids. And then in 18 years, you'll look at each other and be like, who are you? The kids are out of the house. We're done.
Yeah.
That's not the point, ladies. At all.
Yeah.
You need to come together constantly building that relationship up despite what's going on.
And I think what we're saying too is that while we're saying maintain that relationship and do things to create a foundation underneath it, just be aware of not only what your needs are, but what his needs are to create that foundation.
Absolutely.
So just think outside the box sometimes and do the necessary work with them. And I don't think it has to be in a hotel, in a different city, in a different state.
Absolutely not.
You know, that's what we're choosing to do. My husband and I, not Rebecca and I, because that would be weird. But just make sure you do take that time, and especially with those babies or baby on the way, on the horizon, the imminent future, make sure you really set some time aside to connect and to talk about how you're going to continue to connect when they're here. So we loved talking to you again. I always love talking to Rebecca. And check out our blog at inbetweenfriends.com. Please leave comments. We'd love to hear back from you about your thoughts on this, how you agree or disagree with us. It gets our minds thinking in a different direction. And we'll check you later.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.